Most car lifts are an afterthought. Atlas Elite Lifts designs architecturally refined car lift systems for luxury homes, high-end condominiums, premium dealerships, and commercial spaces. No bulky industrial equipment, no compromise on design, just seamless integration and precision engineering that is so beautiful, it's Batcave ready. You truly have to see an Atlas to believe it. Visit www.atlaselitelifts.com today. We have to talk about follow-ups because the statistics, they are absolutely terrible.
The great Mark Cuban once said, "Business happens over years and years. Value is measured in the total upside of a business relationship, not by how much you squeezed out in any one deal." And we couldn't agree more. This is the Business Development Podcast, based in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and broadcasting to the world. You'll get expert business development advice, tips and experiences, and you'll hear interviews with business owners, CEOs, and business development reps. You'll get actionable advice on how to grow business. Brought to you by Capital Business Development, capitalbd.ca. Let's do it. Welcome to the Business Development Podcast. And now your expert host, Kelly Kennedy.
Hello, welcome to episode 339 of the Business Development Podcast. I want to start today's show by thanking so many of you rockstar listeners out there for your support over the past week. I have reached out to so many of you directly through LinkedIn and other means for support with the 2026 Quill Awards, where the Business Development Podcast is now a semi-finalist in two categories: Best Business Podcast and Best B2B Business Podcast. For my international listeners who are hearing this on release day, we could really use your votes as well. And you can cast your vote for the Business Development Podcast at www.quillpodcast. It is the 2026 Quill Awards. And yes, we are semi-finalists. We need the votes to get to become finalists, in which case we will be judged by a group of judges. So we're trying to get there. I think we have a solid chance, but we still need all the votes we can get. If you are hearing this on release day, there will be only 3 more days you can cast your votes. Voting is live until Friday and closes in the evening on Friday, okay? If you are casting your vote, you may notice there's another show in there that also belongs to me called I Used to Work There. It is also a semi-finalist for Best Comedy Podcast and Best New Podcast for 2026. So would greatly appreciate your votes for that one as well if you see a little show called I Used to Work There. And if you haven't listened to it yet and you like this show, you will probably find it hilarious and enjoy it greatly. Give it a try. All right. Thank you so much for hearing me out on that. Now let's just get into it. Today, I wanted to revisit something that I think is fairly well understood, but tends to run into trouble with execution and consistency. Today, I want to chat all about follow-ups. So much of my success, guys, in business development has really come from me being stubborn as heck. When I have a client that I need to book a meeting with, I work consistently week over week to book that meeting. My record to date, and you guys are going to find this hilarious, my record to date with follow-ups is with a extremely large Canadian mining company that one of my larger clients really wanted. And it took 30 follow-ups, guys. Yes, you heard that correctly. 30 follow-ups to book that meeting. And yes, that is absolutely excessive. And no, I do not recommend that you do the same. I had a few things going for me in this case. My client was an extremely large, well-recognized name. I had the direct contact information with the exact right person within the target company, and I knew it. And my client could provide a very unique offering that they needed, and I knew that well. This is what kept me determined and steadfast, and it paid off. Funny story with this, when they called me back, they let me know that they were sorry that they missed me before, which I thought was hilarious because they'd missed me like 30 times. Shelby had actually overheard the conversation, and she knew this client that I was talking about and the people that I was targeting, and nearly lost her mind that they actually called me back after 30 follow-ups. It was a moment that I will remember for the rest of my life. Long story short, though, we booked the meeting, and it was awesome for my client. They absolutely got the opportunity, and it did not come easy, but it was worth all the effort it took. And this is why we need to talk about follow-ups, guys. We have to talk about follow-ups because the statistics, they are absolutely terrible. According to a recent study by marketsandmarkets.com, 48% of BD salespeople never make a single follow-up call. 44% of BD and sales specialists give up after one follow-up. Only 10% of BD and sales specialists make more than 3 contact attempts. Now, here's the problem. According to the same report, 80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls after initial contact. So a total of 6 calls, guys. 6 reach outs. So what does this mean for you? It means 3 big things. If you want to be average, call once. If you want to be great, call 2 or 3 times. If you want to be exceptional, call 6+ times. That's awesome, right? Think about that. That's actually awesome. This is actually really great news for most of us because I know that if you listen to this show, you settle for nothing less than exceptional. Average people do not listen to this show. 5 more follow-ups, guys. 5 more follow-ups is all that separates average from exceptional. But it's pretty clear that if roughly 90% of BD and salespeople are not doing it, something is getting in the way. So what the heck is going on? Well, it turns out there are 5 major issues that are holding you back. Number 1, the fear of rejection. This one is very real. Not I'm busy, not I forgot to call them. People avoid follow-ups because they don't want to hear no. They just don't want to hear no. As long as the prospect has not responded, they feel there is still a chance. The moment they call, the uncertainty disappears. So they protect their ego instead of pursuing the outcome. Number 2, they don't want to feel like a nuisance. Most people believe follow-up equals pressure. They assume they are interrupting, bothering, or chasing someone who is not interested. What they don't realize is that buyers are overwhelmed, distracted, and juggling priorities. A follow-up done properly is not annoying. It's actually quite helpful. But if you believe you are being a nuisance, you will act like one. Or worse, you avoid the call entirely. Number 3, lack of structure. No system equals no action. This is where good intentions die. No clear next step, no follow-up date, no CRM ownership. No deal. Everything lives in memory or scattered notes. Follow-up becomes something you should do instead of something that is scheduled and expected. If it's not systematized, it's optional, and optional never gets done consistently. Number 4, they don't know what to say. Follow-up feels awkward when there's no purpose behind it. Without a clear reason to call, confidence drops. And when confidence drops, avoidance goes up. Strong follow-up comes from clarity, not courage. And number 5, emotional avoidance disguised as productivity. This one hides in plain sight. BD specialists stay busy, admin, research, and internal work. And it feels productive, but it's safe work. Follow-up calls and emails sit at the top of the list, but they are untouched. Not because they don't matter, but because they carry emotional weight. Most people don't have a follow-up problem. They have a discomfort problem combined with a lack of structure, which is a recipe for disaster. As I have said on this show many times, I am very likely not the best business development person in the world. But I have found much success because I am willing to put in the work, make the 10 or 11 calls and follow-ups, and follow up weekly, consistently as a standard. Consistency over time is the true recipe for success, period. So how can we go from average to exceptional? Here are 8 simple steps. Quick pause here, and thank you for tuning in and supporting the show. I want to recognize Hyperfab, a Canadian precision fabrication company built by the team behind Hypervac Technologies, supporting projects in both Canada and the United States. They focus on high-quality sheet metal, fast turnaround, and solving complex fabrication challenges when it matters most. Hyperfab is proud to be our title sponsor for 2026. Thanks for listening. Let's get back to the show. Number 1, commit to a non-negotiable follow-up standard. Decide up front that every qualified opportunity gets at least 10 follow-ups before you walk away. No emotion, no guessing, just a standard. This removes decision fatigue and forces consistency. Number 2, schedule the next step every single time. Never leave a call, a meeting, or an email without defining the next action. If there is no next step, there is no deal. Put it in the CRM immediately and always ask yourself the 5 magic words. What are the next steps? Number 3, build a weekly follow-up block. Set a dedicated time every week where follow-ups are the only focus. No admin, no distractions, just calls and emails. This is where pipeline momentum gets created. Number 4, use your CRM like it's your job, because it is. Track every touch point, log every conversation, set reminders to follow up each and every time. Your CRM, when used correctly, is not just a database. It is your weekly execution engine. If it is not in there, it will not get done. Number 5, lead the conversation. Don't check in. Every follow-up needs a purpose. Bring value, insight, or a clear next step every time you reach out. Number 6, detach emotion from the outcome. You are not calling to get a yes. You are calling to move the opportunity forward or close the loop. Either way, you win. Number 7, disqualify with discipline, not frustration. After 10 follow-ups, make a decision. Move it forward. Find a new contact or move on to a better opportunity. And number 8, build and maintain a weekly performance report. Track your outreach, new contacts added, opportunities created, and meetings booked every single week. This is how you stop guessing and start understanding your performance over time. What gets measured gets improved. What gets ignored stays inconsistent. Stop relying on motivation alone. Professionals rely on standards, systems, and tracking. This is how you truly win in business development. I want to tell you guys a story of a lunch that I had with a director of procurement for a leading Canadian oil and gas company. And I think it'll shed a lot of light into some of your guys' fears with regards to making calls, okay? This one time, I was in Calgary having a lunch with a extremely senior, the most senior director of procurement for an incredibly large Canadian oil and gas company. And me and this director became pretty close friends over time, had quite a few interactions through various companies that I worked with. And this one time we were sitting down and having lunch, and I simply asked him, what is it like being on the other side of these conversations? Obviously, I know the business development side. What I don't really understand is, what is it like to be in procurement and be approached by so many business development people all the time? You must get a ton of emails, is what I said to him. He looked back at me with a big smile and he said, Kelly, I get over 1,000 emails every single week. And my eyes almost popped out of my head, because how in the world can you manage 1,000 emails, even with an assistant? Good luck. And he said, we are leveraging AI to filter and sort our emails so that we can search for what we need when we need it. So what did this mean? What was he telling me? He was telling me he basically never looks at his email unless he is looking for something. And I get this might not be for every single organization, but understand, as AI improves, as organizations grow, this is going to become much, much more standard. So when you are dealing with the tippy top of organizations, the top oil and gas, the top retail, the top manufacturing, they are all using these systems. And what he was saying to me was this: I don't see all the emails that come through to me. That is actually great news for you and your follow-up strategy, because I think so many of you are afraid you're being annoying. So many of you are afraid you're being a nuisance, and you're trying to avoid pissing people off, frankly. Understand, if you email or call somebody once a week, you are not going to piss them off. You are going to fly under the human baseline radar, okay? If you do this consistently, you will get meetings, a lot more of them. And think about it this way. If you are targeting the tippy top, the largest oil and gas, the largest mining, the largest retail, the largest distribution, whatever it is, they are all using these systems, which means the more emails you have out there, the more likely they are to find you in the AI filtering system, okay? So instead of stopping, send the weekly emails. Give them the full 10 weeks of follow-up. Don't even be afraid to send the same email twice, because here's the deal. You don't know when they are seeing it for the very first time, okay? So I want you all to stop being afraid of follow-up. Stop being afraid to send the emails. They need you to do this. You need at least 5+ touch points to move things forward, okay? Let's fix this statistic. Let's stop making 1 call, 2 calls, 3 calls and giving up, okay? From now on, I want every one of you who are listening to this show to make a commitment to yourself right now that you will follow up from this point forward at least 6 times. If you want my recommendation, 10 times every single client before you disqualify, and you will book more meetings. I promise you that. And with that, guys, that takes us to the end of today's show. If you've enjoyed this show, please follow us and leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But guys, Apple Podcasts, we need ratings. We need reviews there. If you listen there, please hop off, leave us a quick rating, leave us a review. I would appreciate it greatly. This is still how we grow the show. This is still an easy and free way to help support the shows you love. So please do, wherever you listen, Apple, Spotify, wherever, leave us a rating, leave us a review. And one more ask. If you loved this show, text it to a friend, text it to a colleague, text it to 3, and help us grow the reach of this show. I appreciate that support greatly. It allows me to keep coming back and delivering these tidbits for you week over week over week. Shout outs this week: Colin Harms, Jamie Crozier, Carmen LaBelle, Carly Grove, Charlotte Lloyd, Tyler Bentley, Gary Noseworthy, Jen Ruggiero, John Pelly, Brianna Solberg, John Bailey, Warren Daly, Carissa Peterson, Allie Stone, Stephen Langer, Andrew Z. Brown, and Susan Paseka. Until next time, you've been listening to the Business Development Podcast, and we will catch you on the flip side.
This has been the Business Development Podcast with Kelly Kennedy. Kelly has 15 years in sales and business development experience within the Alberta oil and gas industry and founded his own business development firm in 2020. His passion and his specialization is in customer relationship generation and business development. The show is brought to you by Capital Business Development, your business development specialists. For more, we invite you to the website at www.capitalbd.ca. See you next time on the Business Development Podcast.
For industries like mining, forestry, construction, and energy, downtime is not just frustrating, it's expensive. For more than 55 years, Thunder Bay Hydraulics has helped keep critical equipment running through expert hydraulic cylinder repair and manufacturing. With in-house engineering, precision machining, and decades of real-world experience, they solve complex hydraulic challenges that most shops simply cannot handle. Their mission is simple: a relentless pursuit of zero downtime. Learn more at www.thunderbayhydraulics.com.